Hi everyone, here is a quick video on how to set yourself up on Bitcoin if you want to create an ordinal and you've never done it before. And I'm assuming a little bit of experience in crypto, but if you don't have any, I'll do a very kind of brief look on how you get set up. So first of all, this isn't meant to be a comprehensive, statement of forever on how to do it. This is how you can do it. Okay, this is a way of doing it, is how I would kind of qualify this before starting. So here's what I consider to be the main platform. There may be other people that have other views, but Gamma here, gamma.io, they seem to be the most credible from an art perspective that I've seen. They have worked with Super Rare, which is cool. And they've worked, I believe, with Christie's, if I'm not mistaken. It was either Christie's or Sotheby's. So that's cool. And what's also cool, they do have stack support for a layer 2, which I haven't done yet. Maybe that's a separate video, but I would need to do it first. But this is for putting it on the layer 1 of Bitcoin. So this is basically where we're going to end up later. And as you see here, so create your own digital legacy on Bitcoin. So they've been doing this. I think it's been around for about a year, if I had to guess, maybe a little longer. And here, as you see, I'm not sure, maybe this is why the mempool, and we'll get to the mempool in a second, but fees have gone up quite a bit in the last 2 days. Hopefully that's temporary. Maybe this is why. So as you see here, you can click on a work, and then you could buy this now for $47, and then of course you'd have the fees. So we're going to get into this. This is where we're going to end up. Okay, so again, this is kind of a nice place as far as listing your work. Not necessarily, you can inscribe here. As we see, there is a way to inscribe here. If you're making a collection, maybe it's an easy way of doing it. I'm going to show you another place to do it. But we'll get to that. So first things first, this is the platform I like to list on. Okay. If you're new to crypto, basically what you need to do in order to get some Bitcoin is you need to basically connect to Coinbase or Binance. One of these two exchanges should be available in your country, maybe both. And you need to make an account. It might take a few days to get your bank account connected to your Binance or Coinbase account. I use Binance. And you need to basically transfer money from your bank account onto Binance, for example, or Coinbase. And then with those, for me, it would be euros. Maybe you're using dollars, whatever the case may be, your local currency. From there, you convert over to Bitcoin, and you can find a ton of videos on how to do that, I'm sure, and it's pretty self-explanatory, but it may take a couple of days for you to figure it out. All to say, it's not rocket science. So this is where you get started if you're starting from zero. Okay? Now, in order to get set up on, say, and do things on Bitcoin, and as I mentioned in my other video on how to get set up on Tezos, think of different cryptos as kind of, I consider them like different operating systems. So Bitcoin is a kind of operating system. So in my opinion, or is one way of looking at it. So for you to do something on, or put your art on the Bitcoin operating system, you need a way of doing that, right? There's no email login. So how do you do it? You connect your wallet. This is basically how you do it in crypto. Instead of your email and password, you connect a wallet, connect a Bitcoin wallet. And you're going to see some very all popular wallets. We're going to use Xverse. It's my favorite. It's, as you see here, it's first. I think it's kind of, I don't know if I'd call it the standard, but it's one of the most reliable and just easy to work with. And I would suggest starting there. I started with Unisat, and it caused me problems, which I'll get into in a little bit here. So I would use Xverse personally. Maybe you're already set up on Phantom, though, so maybe you just want to try that if you already have a Phantom wallet. Okay, so that is how you're going to connect. Now, in order to get an Xverse wallet, how do you do that? Go to Xverse app, or just type in Xverse into Google, and there you'll see it right at the top, Best Bitcoin Web3 Wallet. And so here, I'd also, so you can get this, you can download. Now, this should take you exactly. You can either download it on your phone. Now, we're working on a browser here, and this is where I always inscribe. I don't inscribe from my phone. I find the browser is just a little easier. So you want to get the browser extension, download for Chrome. So we're going to do that. Now, I may have already, let me just remove, okay, I already had, so I'll add to Chrome, okay? I'm going to add the extension. As you see here, xverse.app, 4.5 stars, 210 ratings, so you can, always do your due diligence because you never know. This crypto world is full of scams, as we all know, so you really just have to do your due diligence here. But if you see, 250 reviews, 4.5 stars, that starts to look pretty good. So this has been added. Okay, we just added it right now when we hit the button, and there we see it. And I'll just pin this. I'm in Chrome, and there is the wallet. Now we don't have. So right now we don't have a wallet yet, which is going to be your situation if you're new to doing this sort of thing, say working on Bitcoin. So we're going to create a new wallet. And so here we're going to do just kind of a burn wallet here just for the sake of demonstration here. And we will back it up now. And so here you're going to have, this is what's called your seed phrase. So if you're new to crypto, just getting some writing, somewhere to write here, just opening Gmail on my other side here so I can put in this code in case we need it again. So this is what's called your seed phrase. So I'm going to hit reveal here. This is your super private password. If you're familiar with MetaMask, it's the same thing. It's your seed phrase. It's basically the same model, slightly different though, which we'll get to in a second. So here are your seed phrases. Now it's not letting me copy it. So I'm going to quickly copy it here. And so this is your super private, you don't want to share this with anyone. Sometimes scammers will try to convince you to give this information to them. Never give this information. You're going to also have a password. That's different. And you never want to give that away either. But this is basically the keys to your money. So you can log in anywhere from any kind of wallet. Even some of those other wallets, if you put in this seed phrase, you could go to the Phantom wallet, put in this seed phrase, and your wallet's still going to appear, right? Okay, so I believe I have this, and I'm going to just do a screenshot here for my benefit here in case I lose this. Okay, so here we go, and now it wants me to verify I've copied down the seed phrase. So here it was stereo, and the second word was paddle. And so here it's making sure we've done it. The seventh word is spin. And now I need to make a password, so I'm just going to do it's not letting me do that. Okay, so we're gonna have to, okay, so let's make sure, so here, let's just do some crazy wording, and there it's strong, okay, and then I'll just copy that into my file here, and we'll continue. So now we have a password, now I gotta paste that in, and there you go. So the wallet has been created. Now, okay, so now let's go back. So this is good. So we're set up. Now, actually, what we want to do next is go to Ordiscan. Now, you can do the same thing here on Gamma, which is like how to inscribe, but I prefer Ordiscan myself. And the reason is I don't need to sign any terms and conditions. When you go into, when you do something here, like here. So first, actually, we'll connect our wallet here. And if you have questions, by all means, leave them in the comments. I can always make another video here. But I think, so here, let's see, and trying to connect the wallet. Let's do this again. Are we connected here? Okay, we are. Now we'll connect here. Okay, here we go. Right, so we're already connected. And so now it's saying, hey, okay, do you want to connect? Official. So this is important here. You see there's the ordinals address and there's your payment address. This is crucial. So for those that know NFTs, this is your NFT address, and you need to keep it separate from your Bitcoin address proper. What I mean by that, by your money address, as it calls it here, your payment address, because you want your ordinals, which are put onto sats, which are the smallest unit of Bitcoin, you want them to be put separated, because it's all basically on sats. It's all sats. It's all Bitcoin. So how do you separate the images that you've put onto a sat from money that you're paying in and out of your wallet? So you need two areas, and this is how it's different from MetaMask. Okay, so ordinals, think of that as your NFT. If you're thinking in, this is your digital art address, your collectibles address, and here is just your payments address. So we will say connect. Okay, so now, as you see here, we have a profile and we're connected to Gamma here. So that is fun, and then we can start to go through this whole process of, sign. Okay, so it wants me to sign, and now you can start to do things. Okay, so here's one place you can inscribe, but the problem for me, or the reason I don't prefer it, is because I have to sign terms and conditions, whereas if I go to Ordiscan, it's basically the same idea. I can inscribe, as it's called, again, using NFT terminology, I can mint. But here I don't need to sign anything, so it seems preferable to me. And so I am going to now bring up my. I am going to bring up my my actual account, and don't mind the desktop. We're getting creative there. Okay, so here is Pocobelli on Gamma. So this is my account. This is where I put my art, which is, so I've been going like crazy. Now, if you're going to inscribe, we're over to the mempool now. What is the mempool and why is it important? So it's not always the same price to put work on Bitcoin, and it's kind of notoriously expensive to put work on Bitcoin. And today it's actually really expensive. I've seen it higher. Like this series here, I did when it was at 30 V-bytes. And these are only 5 kilobytes, but I was paying like $40, $50 because I thought it might just go higher from there. It was actually a break in the mempool. Now it's at 10, like only a few days ago it was at 1 or 2. Even a few hours ago, it was at 3. So you load up mempool.space. So here it is. So this is what's going on the Bitcoin blockchain kind of in real time. And as you see here, the last block that went through was at 10 sats per V-byte. The next block going through is 11, and things are starting to get kind of clogged up here. I don't know why. Maybe it's a series that's going on. I don't know what's happening. I don't like it because for me, everything gets way more expensive. As you see here, 131,000. This was at like 70,000 yesterday. Last night when I was looking, and I was like, maybe it'll go down. And now there are 131,000 unconfirmed transactions. So the way to read this, on the right, you're seeing the blocks that have been processed. And here are the blocks that are on the way. And basically, the higher you put the more you pay, the closer you are to the front of the line. So if you want to be at the front of the line here, you'd probably put 11 or 12 sats per V-byte. Can you see that? It says 11. If you're not in a rush, you see there's 10. It probably will, chill out at a certain point here. And you see it's about every 10 minutes that it goes through, but it's not consistently at 10 minutes, each block. So here at 7 minutes, maybe we get lucky here and we just upload something. So I did a very small file because I would wait, actually, is basically my how I think we should approach minting right now. And it could be the wrong decision, but I would wait. And so I'm doing it for the sake of argument. I have a pretty small one here. This is about 6 kilobytes. Okay. And right now you're paying $2 to $3 per kilobyte, whereas when it was at 1 V-byte, it was 50 cents. Generally, if you're getting it for $1 a kilobyte, you can count yourself lucky. So let's see. I picked a small file here for us. This is from Ultima 4. and this is the normal size here. So again, if you're working on Bitcoin, this is like maybe, I don't know, 300 by 400, something like this, as far as size, maybe 450 by 350. And so as you see here, like each one of these is a pixel, okay? Like each one of these little squares here. So if you really want to save money, maybe you make something that's like 20 pixels by 20 pixels and see if you can make something, and then things get a lot cheaper. Because all of a sudden your file size is maybe 1 kilobyte or a few hundred bytes, right? So we're going to try uploading this file here. So I uploaded this from, or inscribing it, as it's called, minting in Ethereum and Tezos terms. So I've uploaded it here, and it looks a little wonky, but it's fine. And another thing you want to do, I would recommend, is putting in metadata. Add any metadata for JSON in JSON format. So here's the format. Okay, I screwed up a few of these at first when I started using Ordiscan. Nice thing about Gamma is it kind of takes care of it for you. You just plug these things in. I like to put the title, the artist, and the series. So I would just, take a picture of this, screenshot this, whatever you got to do, and then there is how you put in your metadata. And it's just a way of kind of signing your work to a certain degree, so this is associated. So when it gets inscribed, this data gets put in with it. So again, you want to get the formatting correct with the commas and everything. Okay, I put title, artist, series. I don't need the date. The date will be time stamped, right? Unless I made it 10 years ago, maybe I'd put something else, but that's generally the data that I use. So here, I'm already logged in here. So I'm going to hit inscribe on this, and I'll show you what happens. So here, it cost me $30, whereas just a week ago, it cost me like $3 or $4. Not even. Maybe $3 or $4, right? So this is really expensive. Now, if we go here to the mempool, you see, so we're back to the mempool, because then it's like, well, how much do I want to put in? And a nice thing about Ordiscan as well is you can put in 2 VBytes if you want, if you maybe like it'll never get through. But there's also a chance that it will get through, and then all of a sudden you're paying much less, but maybe you have to wait weeks for it. Okay, you could wait a couple of years. Okay, that has happened. It may never empty again. This emptied out the other week, about a week ago. And here we are, the fees are already like blasting higher. So let me just show you something though. Give you an example of just what that means. Because I put in a work, and I want to show you where it is so once you put in a work, you'll get a link from Ordiscan, as we're going to see here. And I put it in at 1 VByte. I'm basically 100,000 transactions behind here. So this might not mint out for weeks or months or perhaps even years, if ever. Okay, that is where my last inscription is. So learn from my mistakes. So generally kind of cautious practice is if you want it in the next block, you put 12 or 13 if it's at 12, right? Or you want it, generally it should come down. And I almost want to wait on this because it's so expensive. So what I'm going to do, because it's probably going to take time to go through, is I'm going to put a lower amount. I'm going to risk it here. And I'm going to put it at even, like it's starting to get, I have no idea what's happening here, but let's call it, we'll put it in at like, let's see what 8 VBytes. And this is how you can sort of test the amount. So we had 12 there. Let's put 8 and see what number we get. You see the number change down here? So you can start to, let's say you decide you want to put 5 VBytes and just, who knows, maybe it goes in a month or something. 13, that'd be $13, right? If you're, just a week ago, yesterday it was at 3, okay, briefly for a few. Now, let's say, so you'd put it in 4, because let me just show you another thing. This is all very important. Like I'm constantly on the mempool now, as far as when I have work on Bitcoin. And look, it's at 13 now. Because what you want to look at here is also, okay, the next blocks. Because if it's at 12 and then the next block is 6, well, maybe you put 7 and you just kind of wait it out. But if things are just getting kind of more intense here, You see it's at 13, what they're suggesting here at low priority. If you have no priority, they're saying put it at 6. So and what this ultimately is, just finally, these are transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain and to be processed, if that's not clear. And what you're doing when you inscribe is you're making a kind of transaction of sorts so that the work gets on Bitcoin. Okay. In order to do this, and you use Bitcoin in order to process the transaction. So dilemma here, right? So I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to put it at, let's call it 7 and see what price we get. 17.95. You know what? I'm going to put it, let's just see, 8. You see that's $20. Let's put it at 8. Okay, and then we look on the mempool. Okay, maybe I get lucky and that goes through later today. Okay, but it's already going to be at least an hour, and the way things are going, things are heading in the opposite direction. So you want to think about, this is what you want to think about in terms of the cost, because it gets exponential, the cost, and that's why, again, you want to keep file size low. This is only 5 kilobytes. You see how expensive it is to put work on Bitcoin, but your work's on Bitcoin, which is kind of fun and exciting. But just finally on this point, like where I'm at is I'm going to keep making work, but I'm not going to inscribe it right now because I hope that it's going to go down, and I'm willing to wait. And so right now, frankly, for those that are a little more advanced, maybe I'm looking at putting works on Ethereum right now. Okay, ETH gas fees are 0.87, right? So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it, because as an artist, digital artist, why pay more, right? Why pay $30 for something that might cost you $4 in, potentially a week or even a few days, potentially. Could cost you $60 though. So that's what you got to factor in. A few months ago, this stuff was at 30 or 40. Okay, now it's at 13. That would have been seen as a super deal. So this is crucial to kind of always have open, basically, if you want to inscribe on Bitcoin. So I'm just going to put 8 here. If it gets, lost in the wind here, let's just maybe I'll put 7. Let's even put 5. Let's just see. Because start paying attention to the mempool if you want to do this, because it's going to save you money and it's something you just have to understand. I'm going to just put 5 and say, forget it. I love my work. I think should come out in the next week. Let's hope so. Let's see. So, oops. So let's put it there at 5 at 13. Well, but then you see the right. Okay, 6 is 15. Let's put it at. Okay, we'll do 6. We'll do 7. So there. Okay, now I'm gonna go to my password here, which should have been already logged in. Luckily, it is hidden from the viewers here. And as you see here, it breaks it down 1446 and 191, and that is the total. And there, so now it's been broadcast. So then we'll hit explore. And then now we can see where it is. Okay. And let me close that. And when I hit that, it opened actually this new window here. So now you can see where it is. It's way down here. So I'm taking kind of a big risk as far as this could be in there for months. Okay, it could be in there for years. Okay, going this far down. But I'm not willing to spend, $35 or whatever it would have been to get it minted right away. I have a ton of work I've put on there in the last few weeks. So basically, what I would say is kind of counsel, your free kind of advice here for artists that are looking at doing this. Start making your work is what I would say, and start looking at the mempool, and then use your judgment. Right now it's the most expensive it's been in like a couple of months, I want to say, or in weeks. So something's going on. There's a lot of transactions going on. Hopefully that all dies down. Let's hope, right? Because again, the costs get exponential. So that has been put through, and then you can also, you can see your transaction here, right? So bookmark that, right? And so then you can always come back and see where it is if you're curious, right? So you see it's unconfirmed. And then also, on, you see also here, Ordiscan has its own, thing where it'll say, okay, unconfirmed. It shows you your unconfirmed inscription, and maybe you want to also bookmark that. So you have them basically listed. It doesn't even show where it is because it's not even, it's probably the blocks as you see here. It's block, not this one. You see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is block 4. What is the, they don't have the name, the number of the block, interestingly. But here we do see the number of the block. So I'll just say it's literally like back there. Maybe in 884995 or something. And that is how you do it. So then at the end, once it goes through, then it shows up, if everything goes according to plan, then it shows up here on Gamma. And so this is where I like to list things because it's a nice place to list your work. Otherwise, you have other options like Magic Eden, which is kind of like an OpenSea. It's not as kind of a refined platform for art. This is a nice art platform. They did a really nice job on the website. You know, it seems to be for art, right? And your image might look a little, and if you want to see your images full resolution, just finally click on the link here, ordinals.com. And then here, put open image in new tab, and then you'll see the original file. And then you can kind of, right? And so here, if I want to list it, I would just go here. I'd put fixed price. And then as you see, it'll show you the fiat here. So if I wanted to do maybe 0.15, and then same thing here. I just sign, hit confirm, and that would be it. So the key thing to remember here is you have two parts to the wallet. There's the inscription, the ordinal side. This is basically what's logged in here. And as part of that wallet, and I'll just, just for review here, finally, I'll just bring it back here to our test wallet. As you see here, so let's say you want to receive. Let's say, let's say you want to, we don't have any inscriptions here, but here you'd go at the bottom. You'll see there's the wallet. There is the diamond, which means like the inscriptions or ordinals, right? So let's say someone wants to send you a work. This is the address you'd give, the ordinals address here. Okay, you'd copy that. Here, if you want to, you'd click on the wallet if you want to send some Bitcoin somewhere, and then you'd choose, okay, I'm going to send it to this address, or I want to receive. That's to your Bitcoin address, so for payments. Okay, so that's for receiving Bitcoin. If you want to receive, and then if you have an ordinal, then you would click on the ordinal. It would be here. You'd click on the ordinal, and then it would say send, and then it would give you the address. It would give you the option to send. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. If you have questions, please let me know. I just want to give kind of a quick video here for people who I've been asked for weeks, and I want people to know, and I'm hoping that the fees come back down ASAP. So thank you for joining me, and until next time, take care. If you have questions or comments, by all means, leave them in the comments. Thank you.